In a cozy village surrounded by lush meadows and rolling hills, there stood an ancient willow tree at the edge of the forest. The villagers called it the Whispering Willow because it was said to grant wishes to those who truly needed help. In this village lived a young girl named Clara. Clara was kind-hearted and always helped her neighbors, but her own family was struggling. Her parents were ill, and her small garden, which provided their food, had failed to yield any crops for months. One crisp autumn evening, Clara decided to visit the Whispering Willow, hoping it could help her family. As she approached the towering tree, its branches swayed gently, even though there was no breeze. Clara stood quietly and closed her eyes, whispering her wish into the rustling leaves. "Oh, Whispering Willow, please help my family. We are in great need. I ask for your help to make our garden grow and for my parents to regain their strength." As Clara finished her plea, she felt a gentle hand touch her shoulder. She turned to see a small, elderly woman with twinkling eyes and a warm smile. "I am Willow, the guardian of this tree," the woman said softly. "I heard your wish, Clara. To help your family, you must first embark on a journey to find 3 magical items hidden in the forest. Only then will the Whispering Willow be able to grant your wish." Clara nodded, determined to help her family. Willow handed her a small, golden compass. "This will guide you on your journey. Follow its directions, and you will find what you seek." With the compass in hand, Clara ventured into the forest. The trees were thick, and the path was often hidden, but the compass glowed softly, guiding her through the forest. After a few hours, Clara came across a clearing where a sparkling pond lay. In the middle of the pond, on a small island, was a golden lily. Clara knew this was the first item she needed. She carefully crossed the pond on stepping stones and picked the golden lily, which shimmered brightly. As she continued her journey, the compass led Clara deeper into the forest, to a cave covered in glowing moss. Inside, a magical blue stone lay on a pedestal, surrounded by gently humming fireflies. Clara knew this was the second item. She carefully picked up the stone, and the fireflies danced around her in delight. Finally, the compass guided Clara to the heart of the forest, where an ancient oak tree stood. Hanging from its branches was a crystal-clear bottle filled with a glowing liquid. Clara understood this was the final item she needed. She gently took the bottle, feeling its warmth in her hands. With all 3 magical items secured, Clara made her way back to the Whispering Willow. Willow greeted her with a smile and took the items, placing them carefully at the base of the tree. "The golden lily, the blue stone, and the glowing bottle are all that is needed," Willow said. "Now, make your wish once more." Clara closed her eyes and repeated her wish for her family's well-being. As she spoke, the Whispering Willow's branches began to glow with a soft, golden light. The light spread across the village, bathing everything in a warm, soothing glow. The next morning, Clara returned home to find her parents feeling much better. The garden, once barren, was now full of lush, green vegetables and vibrant flowers. The village was abuzz with excitement, and the villagers marveled at the miraculous change. Clara's family was overjoyed, and they thanked Clara for her bravery and determination. The village celebrated with a grand feast, and the Whispering Willow was honored with a beautiful flower garden around its base. From that day on, Clara continued to help her neighbors, and her family thrived. The Whispering Willow remained a symbol of hope and magic, reminding everyone that kindness and perseverance could bring about the most wonderful changes. And so, Clara's days were filled with joy and gratitude, knowing that the magic of the Whispering Willow had touched her life and the lives of those she loved.
Once upon a time, in a quaint village called Meadow Brook, there lived a talented young artist named Lily. Lily loved to paint and dreamed of creating a masterpiece that would bring joy to everyone. She lived with her grandmother, who always encouraged her to follow her dreams. One day, while exploring the attic, Lily found an old, dusty paintbrush hidden inside a wooden box. As soon as she touched the paintbrush, it shimmered with a magical glow. Her grandmother explained that it was a legendary magic paintbrush said to bring paintings to life. However, it had been lost for many years. Excited by the possibilities, Lily decided to test the magic paintbrush. She painted a beautiful garden filled with colorful flowers, towering trees, and sparkling streams. As she finished, the painting began to glow, and the scene started to come to life. To her amazement, she found herself standing in the very garden she had painted. The garden was more magnificent than she could have ever imagined. The flowers swayed as if dancing to a gentle melody, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming roses. Lily realized that she had the power to create magical worlds with her art. Lily explored the enchanted garden, marveling at the beauty and serenity of the place. She met a talking rabbit named Thistle, who guided her through the garden. Thistle explained that the garden was a magical realm created by the power of the paintbrush. It was a place where dreams came true, and the heart's deepest desires were fulfilled. As Lily wandered through the garden, she saw other creatures like talking birds, friendly deer, and mischievous fairies. They all welcomed her warmly and thanked her for bringing the garden to life once more. As the sun began to set, Thistle led Lily to the heart of the garden, where a majestic oak tree stood. Beneath the tree sat an old man with a long, flowing beard and wise, twinkling eyes. He was the guardian of the garden, a magical being who protected the enchanted realm. The guardian greeted Lily and told her about the paintbrush's true power. This brush can bring to life not just beauty, but also the desires and dreams of the painter. But beware, young artist, for with great power comes great responsibility. Use it wisely and with a pure heart. Inspired by the guardian's words, Lily made a wish to help her village. Meadowbrook had been suffering from a long drought, and their crops were failing. She painted a scene of her village surrounded by rain clouds, with rivers flowing and fields blooming with healthy crops. As she finished the painting, it glowed and transformed into reality. The skies over Meadowbrook darkened, and gentle rain began to fall. The villagers rejoiced as the rivers filled, and the crops started to grow. Lily's heart swelled with happiness, knowing she had helped her home. However, not all was well. A greedy and envious merchant named Vesper heard about Lily's magic paintbrush. He wanted the paintbrush for himself to create endless wealth and power. One night, he sneaked into Lily's home and stole the paintbrush while she slept. Vesper began to paint scenes of riches and palaces, but his greed twisted the magic. The paintings came to life, but they brought chaos and destruction. The enchanted garden turned dark and withered, and the magical creatures fled in fear. Desperate to save the enchanted garden and her village, Lily set out to confront Vesper. With the help of Thistle and the other magical creatures, she tracked him down to a cave filled with his monstrous creations. Lily bravely faced Vesper and demanded the return of the paintbrush. Vesper, consumed by his greed, refused and unleashed his twisted creations upon her. A fierce battle ensued, but Lily's pure heart and determination shone through. With the help of her friends, she managed to reclaim the paintbrush. Lily used the paintbrush to undo the damage caused by Vesper's greed. She painted scenes of peace and harmony, restoring the enchanted garden to its former glory. The magical creatures returned, and the garden flourished once more. The guardian of the garden appeared and praised Lily for her courage and wisdom. He bestowed upon her a special gift, the ability to paint without the need for the magic brush, for the true magic lay within her heart. With her newfound ability, Lily returned to Meadowbrook and continued to create beautiful art that brought joy and wonder to the villagers. She taught others to appreciate the beauty of nature and the importance of a pure heart. The story of Lily and the magic paintbrush spread far and wide, inspiring artists and dreamers across the land. The enchanted garden remained a place of magic and wonder, visited by those who believed in the power of dreams and the magic within. Lily grew old, but her spirit remained young and vibrant. She continued to paint and inspire generations. The paintbrush was passed down to worthy successors, who used it to create beauty and spread kindness. And so, the tale of the magic paintbrush and the enchanted garden lived on, a timeless story of courage, kindness, and the enduring power of a pure heart.
Once upon a time, in the lush and lively kingdom of Eldergrove, there was a magical place known as the Glade of Echoes. This glade was renowned for its ancient trees that sang with the wind and the Lantern of Legends, a mystical lantern said to grant one wish to those who approached it with a brave heart and a pure soul. The Lantern of Legends was hidden deep within the glade and could only be found on the night of the Moon Festival, when the sky was filled with shimmering moonbeams. In the charming village of Willowbend, nestled at the edge of the forest, lived a spirited and kind-hearted girl named Mira. Mira was known for her bravery and her love of stories. Her dearest friend was a clever and kind-hearted squirrel named Nutmeg, who was known for her quick thinking and her ability to find hidden paths. One evening, as the Moon Festival began, Mira and Nutmeg discovered an old, intricately carved wooden box buried beneath a bed of wildflowers. Inside the box was a beautifully engraved lantern and a note that read, "The Glade of Echoes awaits. Follow the lantern on the Moon Festival night to unlock its magic." Filled with excitement and a sense of purpose, Mira and Nutmeg set out on their journey. The path to the Glade of Echoes was bathed in the soft, silver light of the moon and the gentle glow of fireflies. As they entered the glade, they were greeted by the mesmerizing beauty of the moonlit trees and the soothing sounds of the singing wind. However, the path to the Lantern of Legends was guarded by 3 enchanting challenges. The first challenge was the Forest of Whispers. This was a dense, shadowy forest where the trees whispered riddles that needed to be solved to find the way forward. A soft, echoing voice from the trees posed a riddle. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Mira thought carefully and then answered, "A joke." The trees rustled with approval, and the path through the Forest of Whispers cleared, leading them to the next challenge. The second challenge was the River of Reflections. This river was filled with shimmering, moonlit water that mirrored their deepest fears and desires. To cross the river, they needed to face their reflections and speak their true intentions. Mira and Nutmeg stepped cautiously to the river's edge. Mira saw her greatest desire, to bring happiness and prosperity to her village, reflected back at her. She spoke with conviction, "I wish for the well-being and joy of everyone in Willowbend, so that we may all thrive together." The river's surface glowed brightly, and a bridge of moonlight appeared, allowing them to cross safely. The final challenge was the Maze of Echoes. In this maze, the walls were lined with echoing whispers that shifted and changed direction. To find their way out, they needed to listen carefully and follow the correct echoes. Nutmeg's sharp ears helped guide them through the maze, and Mira used the lantern to illuminate their path. They carefully followed the echoes until they emerged into a moonlit clearing where the Lantern of Legends awaited. At the center of the clearing stood the Lantern of Legends, its light shimmering with a magical glow. To make their wish, Mira needed to speak her wish aloud with sincerity. Mira approached the lantern and spoke from her heart, "I wish for the happiness and prosperity of everyone in Willowbend, so that we may all live in harmony and joy." As Mira's wish was spoken, the lantern's light expanded, and a soft, golden glow spread throughout the glade and beyond. The magic of the lantern touched every corner of Eldergrove, bringing joy and prosperity to all who lived there. When Mira and Nutmeg returned to Willowbend, they found their village transformed. The fields were lush with crops, the animals were healthy and happy, and the people were filled with a deep sense of contentment and harmony. The tale of Mira and Nutmeg's adventure in the magic of the Lantern of Legends became a cherished story in Eldergrove, reminding everyone of the importance of courage, kindness, and the power of selfless wishes. And so, the Glade of Echoes continued to be a place of wonder and magic, where dreams and wishes came to life under the light of the Moon Festival. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the stars twinkled brightly in the night sky, there was a cozy village named Lumina. The village was blessed with radiant light that came from a magical star high above in the sky. This star, known as Celestia, was said to be the source of all light in Lumina, and its glow kept the village warm and bright even in the darkest of nights. The villagers cherished Celestia and held an annual festival to honor the star's light. During this festival, every home in Lumina would light lanterns, and the sky would be filled with shimmering lights that danced and sparkled. However, one year, just before the festival was to begin, villagers noticed that Celestia had dimmed considerably and was barely visible in the sky. panic spread through Lumina. Without Celestia's brilliant light, the village would be plunged into darkness. The wise old elder of Lumina called a meeting and revealed that the star had become lost in a dark and dangerous realm known as the Shadowlands, a place where light could not reach. Among the villagers was a small, brave lantern named Leora. Unlike other lanterns, Leora had a special glow that never flickered, even in the harshest of winds. Determined to save her village, Leora stepped forward and volunteered to venture into the Shadowlands to find and rescue Celestia. The villagers were skeptical, but they admired Leora's courage. They gave her a small, enchanted lantern to guide her way and a map that led to the entrance of the Shadowlands. With a heart full of hope and determination, Leora set off on her journey. The path to the Shadowlands was treacherous. Leora traveled through dense forests where shadows whispered and twisted, and crossed rivers of ink-black water. But her steadfast light illuminated her path and kept her safe. As she approached the entrance to the Shadowlands, she was greeted by a large, menacing gate shrouded in darkness. Taking a deep breath, Leora passed through the gate and entered the Shadowlands. Here, the darkness was so thick it felt almost tangible. Leora's light cut through the gloom, but it seemed to grow dimmer as she ventured further. She followed the map, which led her to a labyrinth of shadowy corridors. Inside the labyrinth, Leora encountered strange and eerie creatures that lurked in the darkness. One of these creatures, a shadowy figure with glowing eyes, approached her. "Who dares enter the Shadowlands?" it growled. "I am Leora, a lantern from Lumina," she replied bravely. "I seek the star Celestia, who has been lost in this realm. I must bring her back to save my village." The shadowy figure was intrigued by Leora's bravery. The star Celestia is held captive by the Shadow King, who thrives on darkness. You will need more than light to rescue her. You must find the 3 hidden crystals that are scattered throughout the labyrinth. Each crystal holds a piece of the light that can pierce through the Shadow King's power. Leora thanked the creature and set out to find the crystals. She navigated the labyrinth, solving riddles and overcoming challenges. Each crystal she found was hidden in a place that tested her courage and resolve. One crystal was hidden behind a riddle spoken by a wise old shadow, another was guarded by a maze of shifting shadows, and the last was tucked away in a dark cavern filled with echoes of fear. With each crystal she collected, Leora's light grew stronger. When she had all 3, she felt a renewed strength and clarity. She made her way to the Shadow King's throne room, a vast, dark chamber where the Shadow King sat upon a throne of darkness. On the throne next to him was Celestia, her light barely glowing. Leora approached with determination. Release Celestia and return her to the sky, or face the power of light. The Shadow King laughed menacingly. "You think your light can defeat me?" Leora placed the 3 crystals in front of the Shadow King, and their combined light created a brilliant, piercing beam that cut through the darkness. The Shadow King's power waned as the light grew stronger, and he was forced to retreat into the deepest shadows of his realm. With Celestia freed, Leora and the star made their way back to the entrance of the Shadowlands. As they emerged, the darkness of the realm receded, and Celestia's light began to shine brightly once more. The star's glow restored the night sky to its former brilliance. Returning to Lumina, Leora and Celestia were welcomed with great celebration. The village held its festival with even greater joy than before, and the night sky was filled with the twinkling lights of the lanterns and the shimmering glow of Celestia. Leora's bravery and the light she carried became a symbol of hope and courage in Lumina. And so, once upon a time, in a charming village nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there was a grand, ancient willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. This tree was said to possess magical powers, and it was revered by the villagers who believed that the tree could speak to those who truly listened. The Whispering Willow was at the heart of the village, and its branches swayed gently, always seeming to murmur secrets of old. The village was home to a kind and brave girl named Alina. Alina had always felt a special connection to the Whispering Willow and spent many afternoons sitting beneath its branches, listening to its soft whispers. She believed that the tree held the key to a long-forgotten secret that could help her village thrive even more. One day, the village faced a terrible drought. The rivers had dried up, and the crops were withering. The villagers were worried and turned to Alina for help, knowing her bond with the Whispering Willow might be their last hope. Determined to find a solution, Alina decided to seek the wisdom of the Whispering Willow more deeply than ever before. As the sun set and the sky was painted in hues of pink and orange, Alina approached the ancient tree with a heavy heart and an open mind. "Whispering Willow," she said softly, "I need your guidance. Our village is suffering, and we don't know how to save it. Please, help us." The wind rustled through the willow's leaves, and a soothing, melodic voice spoke from within. "To save your village, you must seek the heart of the forest. It is a hidden treasure with the power to bring water and life back to your land. But to find it, you must first prove your courage, kindness, and wisdom." Alina listened carefully, and the Whispering Willow gave her a map marked with cryptic symbols. The map led her into the depths of the forest, a place known for its magical creatures and hidden mysteries. The first part of her journey led her to a sparkling pond surrounded by glowing fireflies. Here, Alina faced the task of courage. A mischievous water sprite had been playing tricks on travelers, causing them to lose their way. The sprite challenged Alina with riddles and illusions. Alina, with her heart full of bravery, solved each riddle and faced the illusions with steadfast resolve. The sprite, impressed by Alina's courage, revealed a hidden path that led further into the forest. Next, Alina arrived at a grove where she found a family of injured deer. The grove had become overrun with thorny vines that made it difficult for the deer to move. This was the task of kindness. Alina carefully cleared the vines and tended to the deer's wounds, using the healing herbs she carried. The deer, grateful for her kindness, guided her to the next part of her journey. Finally, Alina reached an ancient stone archway covered in glowing runes. This was the task of wisdom. The runes formed a complex puzzle, and solving it required both knowledge and intuition. Alina studied the runes and used her understanding of the forest's lore, as well as clues given by the Whispering Willow. She arranged the runes correctly, causing the archway to open and reveal a hidden chamber. Inside the chamber, Alina found a shimmering crystal encased in a golden pedestal. This was the heart of the forest. As she touched the crystal, it began to glow brightly, and a warm, gentle rain started to fall outside. The rain revitalized the land, filling the rivers and nourishing the crops. Alina returned to her village with the crystal, and the villagers celebrated as the drought ended and life returned to their land. The Whispering Willow's magic had indeed saved them. The villagers expressed their gratitude to Alina for her bravery, kindness, and wisdom. From that day on, Alina was celebrated as a hero, and the Whispering Willow became even more revered as a symbol of hope and magic. The village thrived, and the ancient tree continued to whisper its secrets to those who listened with their hearts. And so, the tale of Alina and the Whispering Willow became a cherished story, reminding everyone that with courage, kindness, and wisdom, even the most daunting challenges can be overcome, and magic can be found in the most unexpected places. Once upon a time, in a tranquil village named Leora, nestled at the edge of an enchanted forest, there was a special lantern known as the Lantern of Leora. This lantern was said to hold the power to light up the darkest paths and guide those who were lost or in need. Its light was warm and soothing, a beacon of hope and comfort. The lantern had been passed down through generations, but as the village grew, its light began to wane. The villagers were concerned, for they believed that if the lantern went out, their village would be lost in darkness forever. In the heart of the village lived a curious and brave young girl named Ava. Ava had always been fascinated by the lantern's magic and had often wondered why its light was fading. One day, she decided to embark on a quest to discover the truth and restore the lantern's brilliance. Ava visited the village elder, an old woman named Eloan, who had spent her life safeguarding the lantern's secrets. Eloan revealed that the lantern's light was fueled by 3 mystical gems: the Ember Stone, the Moonstone, and the Starlight Gem. These gems had been lost over time, and their absence was the cause of the lantern's dimming light. To restore the lantern, Ava needed to find these 3 gems. Eloan handed Ava an ancient map and a small, magical compass that would guide her on her journey. With a determined heart, Ava set off towards the enchanted forest. The first destination on her map was the Cavern of Ember, where the Ember's stone was said to be hidden. As Ava ventured into the cavern, she was met with intense heat and fiery obstacles. The cavern was guarded by a fierce, but wise fire serpent named Ignis. Ignis challenged Ava to prove her bravery. To do so, she had to navigate through a maze of flame and retrieve the Ember's stone from a fiery altar. Using her quick thinking and courage, Ava carefully maneuvered through the flames, reaching the altar and claiming the Ember's stone. Ignis, impressed by her bravery, allowed her to take the gem and blessed her with protection for her journey. Next, Ava followed the map to the Grove of Moonlight, where the Moonstone was hidden. The grove was a magical place bathed in soft, moonlit glow, and it was home to a wise old owl named Luna. Luna guarded the Moonstone and only revealed it to those who solved her riddle. Luna's riddle was, "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Ava pondered the riddle and realized the answer was a joke. Luna, delighted with Ava's cleverness, presented her with the Moonstone and wished her luck on her quest. The final destination was the Summit of Stars, where the Starlight Gem was said to be guarded by an ancient dragon named Astra. The summit was a steep and treacherous climb, but Ava persevered, reaching the dragon's lair at the top. Astra, though formidable, was wise and kind-hearted. She told Ava that the Starlight Gem could only be obtained by demonstrating selflessness. Astra explained that Ava needed to give up something dear to her in order to receive the gem. Ava thought of her beloved compass, which had guided her through her journey. With a heavy heart, she offered the compass to Astra. Moved by Ava's generosity, Astra granted her the Starlight Gem and returned the compass as a token of gratitude. With all three gems in hand, Ava returned to her village. She placed the Ember's stone, Moonstone, and Starlight Gem into the lantern of Leora. The lantern's light flared to life with a brilliant, warm glow that illuminated the entire village and the surrounding forest. The villagers celebrated Ava's bravery and the lantern's restored brilliance. The light from the lantern of Leora shone brightly, guiding travelers, bringing warmth to the village, and filling their hearts with hope. Ava's adventure became a treasured story in Leora, a tale of courage, cleverness, and selflessness. The lantern of Leora continued to shine brightly, a symbol of hope and a beacon for all who sought its light. And so, the village of Leora thrived in the warm, magical glow of the lantern, ever grateful for the bravery of a young girl who had brought light back to their lives. The tale of the Dreamweaver's lantern. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a sprawling forest, there was a legend about a magical lantern known as the Dreamweaver's lantern. The lantern was said to hold the power to bring dreams to life and to make the deepest wishes of those with pure hearts come true. But the lantern had been lost for generations, and many had given up hope of ever finding it. In this village lived a young girl named Lily, known for her boundless imagination and her love of storytelling. She would often sit by the village's ancient oak tree, spinning tales of adventure and wonder for anyone who would listen. Lily had always dreamed of finding the Dreamweaver's lantern and using its magic to help her village, which had been struggling with a long drought that had left the fields barren. One starry night, as Lily gazed at the twinkling sky, she saw a shooting star streak across the heavens. With a hopeful heart, she made a wish that she could find the Dreamweaver's lantern and bring prosperity to her village. As the star faded, she felt a strange sensation as if the air around her was shimmering with possibility. The next morning, Lily found the small, ornate box at the base of the ancient oak tree. The box was covered in intricate carvings of stars and moons and had a delicate silver key hanging from a tiny hook. Inside the box was a parchment with a map and a note that read, "To find the Dreamweaver's lantern, follow the path of stars and trust in the magic of your heart." Excited and determined, Lily set out on her journey. Following the map, she ventured into the forest, where the path was lined with glowing stones that seemed to light up as she walked. As the sun set and the forest grew darker, the stones began to twinkle like stars, guiding her deeper into the woods. After hours of walking, Lily arrived at a hidden clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center of the clearing stood a magnificent tree with silver leaves and branches that sparkled like diamonds. At the base of the tree was a pedestal, and on the pedestal rested the Dreamweaver's lantern, glowing softly with an ethereal light. Lily approached the lantern with reverence. She carefully unlocked the lantern using the key from the box. As the lantern opened, a soft, golden light spilled out, and a gentle voice filled the air. "Welcome, Lily. You have found the Dreamweaver's lantern, a symbol of hope and magic. Your heart's wish shall be granted, but remember, true magic comes from within." Lily looked at the lantern, her heart swelling with emotion. "I wish for my village to be blessed with rain so that the fields may flourish and our people may be happy once more." The lantern's light grew brighter, and Lily felt a warm breeze enveloping her. She watched in awe as the light from the lantern spread out over the forest, transforming into a shimmering cloud that drifted towards the village. Lily made her way back to the village, her heart full of hope. As she arrived, she saw the first drops of rain beginning to fall from the cloud. The rain was gentle but steady, soaking into the parched earth and bringing life back to the fields. The villagers gathered, amazed at the sudden change in their fortunes. The once barren fields began to turn green, and the joy of the village was palpable. Lily was celebrated as a hero, but she humbly told everyone about the Dreamweaver's lantern and the magic it had brought. She reminded them that while the lantern had played a part, it was their own hope and unity that had truly made the difference. As the rain continued to nourish the land, Lily kept the lantern safe and cherished its lessons. The village thrived, and the story of Lily in the Dreamweaver's lantern became a cherished tale, passed down through generations. It served as a reminder that magic was not just in enchanted objects, but in the dreams, wishes, and efforts of those who dared to believe in them. And so, the village prospered, and Lily's name was forever remembered as a symbol of hope and magic, reminding everyone that even the smallest light can illuminate the darkest of times. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. In a quaint village surrounded by lush meadows and sparkling streams, there stood an ancient oak tree known as the Whispering Oak. This majestic tree was famous for its shimmering leaves that rustled even on the stillest days, said to hold the secrets of the forest and the wisdom of the ages. The villagers often told stories about the Whispering Oak, claiming it could grant wishes to those with pure hearts and noble intentions. Many tried to find out if the tales were true, but none had ever succeeded in uncovering its magic. One day, a young boy named Finn arrived in the village. Finn was known for his kindness and curiosity. He had heard the tales of the Whispering Oak and was eager to discover if the legends were real. With his faithful dog, Bramble, by his side, he ventured into the forest to find the ancient tree. After a long walk through the forest, Finn and Bramble finally reached the Whispering Oak. The tree was even more magnificent than Finn had imagined. Its trunk was thick and gnarled, and its leaves sparkled with a golden hue. Finn approached the tree with reverence, feeling a sense of awe and wonder. He gently placed his hand on the tree's bark and whispered, "I've heard stories about your magic. I'm not here to ask for riches or fame, but to learn something that could help my village and those in need." The leaves of the Whispering Oak rustled softly, and Finn thought he heard a faint voice whispering back, "The magic you seek is not for yourself but for others. To find it, you must first prove your heart's true intentions." Suddenly, a gentle breeze swept through the forest, and Finn found himself standing before three paths, one leading to a misty valley, another to a sparkling stream, and the third to a sunlit glade. Each path seemed to hold its own promise. Finn chose the path to the misty valley, drawn by a sense of mystery. As he walked, the mist grew thicker, and he soon encountered a family of deer trapped in the fog. The deer were struggling to find their way, and Finn could see their distress. Using his wits, Finn guided the deer through the mist, calling to them gently and leading them towards the edge of the fog. Once they were safe, the deer nuzzled Finn in gratitude before disappearing into the forest. Finn continued on his journey, reaching the sparkling stream. The stream was beautiful, but it was obstructed by a tangle of fallen branches. Finn saw a family of frogs stuck on the other side, unable to reach their home. With determination, Finn carefully removed the branches and cleared a path for the frogs. They hopped across the stream, croaking their thanks as they went. Finn felt a sense of fulfillment knowing he had helped the forest creatures. The last path led to the sunlit glade, where Finn found a small, injured bird nestled in the grass. It had a broken wing and looked up at Finn with trusting eyes. Finn gently picked up the bird and fashioned a little nest from his own scarf to keep it warm. He then used his skills to mend the bird's wing as best as he could. As Finn cared for the bird, he realized that the true magic of the Whispering Oak was not in grand wishes or magical transformations but in the simple acts of kindness and compassion. The bird soon began to flutter its wings, and with a grateful chirp, it flew into the sky. Returning to the Whispering Oak, Finn felt a deep sense of peace and satisfaction. He approached the tree once more and said, "I've done my best to help those in need, just as you guided me." The Whispering Oak's leaves rustled softly, and Finn heard a warm, comforting voice say, "You have proven the true magic of a pure heart. The wisdom you sought lies within you. Use it to help others, and you will find that the magic you give will return to you tenfold." As Finn and Bramble left the forest, the village welcomed them with open arms. The villagers were amazed at Finn's tales of the forest and the creatures he had helped. Finn shared his experiences and the lessons he had learned, and the village soon became known for its kindness and generosity. The Whispering Oak continued to stand tall in the forest, a symbol of the magic that lives in acts of compassion and the wisdom that guides those who seek to help others. And so, the village flourished, always remembering the true magic of the Whispering Oak. The moonlit melody. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the mountains kissed the sky and rivers sang lullabies, there was a hidden village called Leora. Leora was known for its breathtaking beauty and its connection to the stars. Each night, the village was bathed in moonlight that seemed to dance to an enchanting melody, a melody that only the pure-hearted could hear. In Leora lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was an orphan who had been raised by her grandmother, who was the village's storyteller. Though Elara's life was modest, she had a gift for playing the harp, and her music was said to bring comfort and joy to all who heard it. Yet, despite her talent, Elara felt a deep yearning within her heart, a desire to understand the source of the moonlit melody that filled the village with magic. A mysterious gift. One evening, as the harvest moon rose high in the sky, Elara was walking along the edge of the village. The moonlight was especially radiant, casting an otherworldly glow over the landscape. As she strolled, she noticed a small, silver box glimmering in the grass. She picked it up and opened it to find a delicate, moonstone pendant. Attached to the pendant was a note written in elegant script, to uncover the secret of the moonlit melody, wear this pendant and follow the path of light. Elara felt a surge of excitement and curiosity. She clasped the pendant around her neck and watched as the moonlight seemed to intensify, forming a shimmering path leading towards the mountains. The path of light. With determination, Elara followed the luminous path. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the light grew brighter, guiding her towards a hidden grove. The trees in the grove were adorned with glistening silver leaves that rustled softly in the breeze. At the center of the grove stood an ancient, majestic tree with branches that reached towards the sky. Elara approached the tree and noticed that its trunk had a door carved into it. She hesitated for a moment, then gently pushed open the door, revealing a spiral staircase leading down into the earth. The enchanted chamber. At the bottom of the staircase, Elara entered a vast underground chamber bathed in moonlight. The walls of the chamber were lined with glittering crystals, and at the center of the room was an exquisite harp with strings made of silver and moonbeams. The harp seemed to hum with a gentle, magical energy. As Elara approached the harp, a soft voice echoed through the chamber. "Welcome, Elara. You have been chosen to unlock the heart of the moonlit melody." Elara looked around and saw a graceful figure emerge from the shadows, a moonlit guardian with shimmering wings and a serene presence. The guardian spoke, "The harp you see before you holds the essence of the moonlit melody. To awaken its magic, you must play a tune from your heart, one that reflects the purity and love within you." The moonlit melody. Elara took a deep breath and began to play the harp. Her fingers danced across the strings, and as she played, a beautiful, celestial melody filled the chamber. The notes were pure and radiant, echoing the harmony of the moonlight above. The melody seemed to weave through the air, carrying a sense of peace and wonder. As the final note lingered, the chamber was enveloped in a dazzling light. The moonlight streaming through the crystals became a cascade of shimmering rays, and the harp's magic began to spread beyond the chamber, reaching the village of Leora. A magical transformation back in Leora, the villagers gathered in awe as the moonlight transformed into a magnificent spectacle. The sky sparkled with constellations that formed shapes and patterns, telling stories of old. The moonlight danced across the village, bringing with it a sense of joy and unity. Ilara returned to the village, her heart filled with a profound sense of fulfillment. The villagers welcomed her with open arms, and the magic of the moonlit melody became a cherished part of their lives. The village thrived, and Ilara's music continued to bring comfort and happiness to all. The story of Ilara and the moonlit melody became a treasured tale in Leora, a reminder of the magic that exists when we follow our hearts and embrace the beauty around us. The moonstone pendant was passed down through generations, a symbol of the bond between the moon and the people of Leora. And so, under the watchful gaze of the moon and the enchanting melodies that graced the village, Leora remained a land of magic and harmony, forever blessed by the heart of one extraordinary young girl. Once upon a time, in a tranquil village bordered by a mysterious forest, lived a young boy named Theo. Theo was a dreamer, fascinated by stories of magical creatures and hidden treasures. Every evening, he would sit by the village well, gazing into the depths and imagining adventures. One crisp winter night, while Theo was walking home, he stumbled upon an old lantern lying half-buried in the snow. It was ornate, with intricate designs of stars and moons. Intrigued, Theo picked it up and noticed it was surprisingly warm to the touch. As he rubbed the lantern to clean it, a soft glow began to emanate from its surface. Startled, Theo watched as a swirl of sparkling mist emerged from the lantern, taking the shape of a shimmering figure. It was a gentle spirit with wings like gossamer and eyes that twinkled like stars. "I am Leora, the spirit of the lantern," she said with a melodic voice. "You have awakened me. For your kindness and curiosity, I will grant you one wish. But remember, wishes must be made with a pure heart." Theo's mind raced with possibilities. The village was struggling, as their crops had failed, and the once bustling marketplace was now quiet. Theo wished for the village's prosperity and happiness. "I wish for my village to thrive and be filled with joy again," he said earnestly. Leora smiled and nodded. "Your wish is noble. To fulfill it, you must undertake a journey to find 3 magical seeds hidden in the forest. Each seed holds the power to restore life and bring happiness." With that, Leora vanished, and Theo set off into the forest, guided by the lantern's soft glow. The forest was dense and mysterious, with the trees whispering secrets in the wind. Theo pressed on, determined to help his village. After a while, Theo arrived at a clearing where a large, ancient tree stood. Hanging from its branches was a golden seed. As Theo reached for it, a gentle voice spoke from the tree. "To claim this seed, you must solve a riddle," the tree said. "What has roots as nobody sees, is taller than trees, up it goes, and yet never grows." Theo thought hard and then answered, "A mountain." The tree's branches shook with delight as it dropped the golden seed into Theo's hands. Theo thanked the tree and continued his journey. The next seed was hidden in a sparkling cave. Inside, Theo found a glowing, silver seed nestled among shimmering crystals. But as he reached for it, a guardian sprite appeared. "To take this seed, you must show your kindness," the sprite said. "Help me find my lost gem, and the seed will be yours." Theo agreed and helped the sprite search through the cave. After some time, they found the gem, and the sprite gratefully handed over the silver seed. Theo continued on, feeling proud of his good deed. For the final seed, Theo followed the lantern's glow to a misty lake. In the center of the lake, on a small island, was a crystal-clear seed. But the lake was guarded by a wise old turtle who spoke. "To claim this seed, you must show patience and courage," the turtle said. "Cross the lake using these stepping stones, and you will reach the island." Theo carefully made his way across the stepping stones, balancing carefully as the water lapped around him. When he reached the island, He took the crystal-clear seed, thanking the turtle for the challenge. With all 3 seeds in hand, Theo returned to the village. The villagers gathered around, amazed at his bravery in the magical seeds. Theo planted the seeds in the village square, and as he did, the ground shimmered and the seeds sprouted into beautiful, radiant plants. The crops in the fields began to grow lush and plentiful, and the marketplace buzzed with life and laughter. The village thrived once more, and the villagers celebrated Theo's success with a grand feast. Theo was hailed as a hero, not just for his bravery, but for his kindness and pure heart. Every year after, the village held a festival to honor the enchanted lantern and the magical seeds that had brought joy and prosperity back to their home. And Theo, with his lantern always by his side, continued to dream and inspire, knowing that even the smallest acts of courage and kindness could bring about the most magical of changes. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between lush green hills and the shimmering blue lake, lived 2 siblings, Elara and Thorn. Elara was a kind-hearted girl with a curiosity that matched her bright blue eyes, while Thorn, her younger brother, was brave and adventurous, always eager to explore the unknown. Their village was surrounded by a dense forest known as the Enchanted Grove. Legends spoke of magical creatures and hidden treasures within the grove, but it was also said to be protected by an ancient enchantment that only the pure of heart could pass through. One sunny morning, Elara and Thorn set off on a new adventure. They had heard whispers of a hidden glade within the Enchanted Grove where the fabled Tree of Wishes grew. The tree, according to the legend, could grant one true wish to those who found it. With their hearts full of hope, they ventured into the grove, guided by a mysterious map they found in their grandmother's attic. As they walked deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and the light dimmer. The air was filled with the scent of wildflowers and the sound of rustling leaves. Suddenly, a mischievous pixie named Lumina appeared before them, her wings shimmering like sunlight on water. "Where are you 2 headed?" Lumina asked with a twinkle in her eye. "We're looking for the Tree of Wishes," Elara replied. Lumina fluttered around them, her laughter like the tinkling of tiny bells. "Many have sought the tree, but few have found it. The path is perilous and full of challenges. But I see something special in both of you. I will guide you, but you must prove your worth along the way." The siblings agreed, and Lumina led them to their first challenge, a bridge guarded by a fierce troll named Grumble. The troll demanded a riddle be solved before they could pass. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Grumble growled. Elara thought for a moment and then answered, "An echo." Grumble grunted, but a smile tugged at his lips. "Correct. You may pass." The trio continued their journey until they reached a wide river with no bridge or boat in sight. Lumina pointed to a family of beavers nearby. "Perhaps they can help." Thorn approached the beavers and asked for their assistance. The beavers agreed to build a bridge if the siblings could help them find food. Elara and Thorn worked together, gathering berries and nuts, and soon the beavers constructed a sturdy bridge. As they crossed the river, Lumina warned them of their final challenge, a maze of thorns that could only be navigated by those with pure intentions. Holding hands, Elara and Thorn entered the maze, their hearts united in their quest. They walked with determination, helping each other through the twists and turns. At the maze's end, they found themselves in a serene glade bathed in golden light. In the center stood the majestic Tree of Wishes, its branches heavy with sparkling fruit. A gentle voice spoke from the tree, "You have shown bravery, kindness, and purity of heart. You may each make a wish." Elara wished for the prosperity and happiness of their village, while Thorn wished for their parents' good health and long life. The tree shimmered, and the wishes were granted. As a token of gratitude, the tree gave them each a golden leaf, promising that they would always find their way back to the glade when needed. With Lumina's help, Elara and Thorn returned home, their hearts light and their spirits high. They shared their tale, and the village flourished with newfound hope and joy. And so, the siblings' adventure became a cherished legend, reminding everyone that with courage, kindness, and a pure heart, even the most daunting challenges could be overcome. And they lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village called Meadowbrook, there stood an ancient and majestic willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. Its long, cascading branches seemed to touch the ground, creating a curtain of green that rustled softly in the wind. The villagers believed that the Whispering Willow had a special magic, for it was said to whisper secrets and wishes to those who listened closely. In the heart of Meadowbrook lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Lila. Every day, she would sit beneath the Whispering Willow, listening to its gentle whispers and dreaming of adventure. Lila's heart was full of wonder, and she often wondered if there was more to the tree's magic than just its soft, comforting whispers. One evening, as the sun set and the first stars began to twinkle in the sky, Lila heard a particularly clear whisper from the willow. "Seek the lost star that fell from the sky," it said, "and restore the light that once was." Lila's heart leapt with excitement. She had always loved stories of fallen stars and magical quests. Determined to uncover the truth behind the willow's message, she set out on a journey to find the lost star. As Lila walked through the village and into the surrounding forest, she noticed the landscape changing. The trees grew taller and denser, and the air seemed to shimmer with a soft, otherworldly light. Guided by the whispers of the willow and the twinkling of the stars above, Lila ventured deeper into the forest. After walking for a while, she came across a sparkling stream. The water was crystal clear, and it seemed to glow with a faint, blue light. On the banks of the stream, Lila found a small, glimmering stone that seemed to pulse with a gentle light. Realizing that this might be the lost star, she carefully picked it up and examined it. Just then, a graceful figure appeared beside her. It was a beautiful, ethereal creature with delicate wings and a shimmering gown, a star fairy. The star fairy's name was Seraphina, and her eyes held the wisdom of the ages. "You have found the lost star," Seraphina said with a warm smile. "It fell from the sky long ago, and its light has been missing from the night sky ever since. But to restore its light, you must journey to the summit of stars, where the sky meets the earth." With Seraphina's guidance, Lila continued her journey. They traveled through enchanted forests, across moonlit meadows, and up a winding mountain path. The summit was a breathtaking sight, where the sky seemed to touch the earth in a perfect, celestial embrace. At the summit, there was an ancient, stone altar bathed in moonlight. Seraphina instructed Lila to place the star upon the altar. As Lila carefully set the star in place, it began to glow with an intense, radiant light. The light grew brighter and brighter until it soared into the night sky, joining the constellation of stars that sparkled above. The night sky seemed to come alive with renewed brilliance. The lost star had returned, and its light danced across the heavens, filling the world with a magical glow. Seraphina thanked Lila for her bravery and kindness. "You have restored the light of the star and brought back its magic. The Whispering Willow knew that you were the one who could complete this quest." As a token of gratitude, Seraphina gifted Lila a small vial of stardust. "This stardust will allow you to make a wish and speak to the stars whenever you desire." Lila returned to Meadowbrook with a heart full of joy and wonder. The villagers celebrated her bravery and the return of the star's light. The Whispering Willow, too, seemed to whisper with newfound joy and gratitude. From that day on, Lila continued to listen to the whispers of the willow and the twinkling of the stars. She used the stardust to make wishes that brought happiness and wonder to her village. The tale of the lost star and the brave girl who restored its light became a cherished story, reminding everyone of the magic that lies in believing and following one's heart. And so, Meadowbrook thrived under the glow of the stars, forever enchanted by the magic of the Whispering Willow and the brave girl who brought back the light of the night sky. The end.
Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled in a valley surrounded by rolling hills, there lived a lonely shepherd named Finn. Finn spent his days tending to his flock of sheep, guiding them through the meadows and up the hillsides. Though he loved his sheep and the beautiful landscape, Finn often felt a deep loneliness, for he had no one to share his thoughts and dreams with. Each night, after securing his flock, Finn would sit atop a hill and gaze at the stars. The night sky, with its countless twinkling lights, was his only solace. He would make wishes upon the stars, hoping for a friend to share his life with. One night, as Finn sat under the starry sky, he noticed a particularly bright star. As he watched, the star grew larger and brighter, and to his amazement, it began to fall from the sky. The star streaked across the heavens and landed in a nearby meadow with a soft glow. Curious and excited, Finn hurried to the meadow to see the fallen star. When he arrived, he found a small, shimmering figure lying in the grass. It was a tiny, radiant fairy, her wings sparkling with the light of 1,000 stars. She looked up at Finn with kind, twinkling eyes. "Thank you for finding me," the fairy said in a melodic voice. "I am Stella, a star fairy. I fell from the sky while granting wishes, and now I need help to return home." Finn, overjoyed to have found a friend, eagerly offered to help Stella. "I'll do whatever it takes to help you get back to the stars," he promised. Stella smiled and explained that to return to the sky, she needed to gather the light of 3 magical objects: the moonflower, the crystal spring, and the phoenix feather. And so, Finn and Stella set off on their adventure. Stella rode on Finn's shoulder, her tiny wings glowing softly. They traveled through the village and into the forest, where their first quest awaited. Deep in the forest, they came upon a clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center of the clearing grew the moonflower, a rare and magical plant that only bloomed under the light of a full moon. Its petals glowed with a silvery light, and its scent was sweet and calming. As Finn approached the flower, a soft voice echoed through the clearing. "Who dares to take the moonflower?" It was the guardian of the forest, an ancient tree spirit named Eldon. Finn explained their quest and promised to take only one petal to help his friend. Eldon, moved by Finn's kindness and sincerity, allowed them to take a single petal from the moonflower. With the first piece of their quest complete, Finn and Stella continued on their journey. Next, they traveled to the Crystal Spring, a hidden waterfall that flowed with sparkling, magical water. The spring was guarded by a water nymph named Nya, who was known for her beauty and wisdom. When Finn and Stella arrived, Nya emerged from the water, her hair shimmering like liquid silver. She listened to their story and agreed to help, but she warned them that the spring's magic was fragile and must be respected. Nya gave them a vial filled with the crystal clear water. "Use it wisely," she said. "Its magic is powerful but delicate." Grateful for her help, Finn and Stella thanked Nya and set off to find the final magical object. Their last destination was the peak of a distant mountain, home to the legendary Phoenix. The journey was long and arduous, but Finn and Stella persevered, driven by their determination to complete their quest. At the summit, they found the Phoenix, a magnificent bird with feathers of fiery gold and crimson. The Phoenix, wise and majestic, listened to their plea. "To help you, I will give you one of my feathers," it said. "But remember, true strength lies in kindness and friendship." The Phoenix shed a single feather, glowing with intense heat and light. Finn and Stella thanked the Phoenix and made their way back to the meadow where Stella had fallen. Back at the meadow, under the starry sky, Stella combined the moonflower petal, the crystal spring water, and the phoenix feather. As she did, a radiant light enveloped her, growing brighter and brighter until it lit up the entire meadow. "Thank you, Finn," Stella said, her voice filled with gratitude. "You have given me the light I need to return home." With a final, sparkling smile, Stella ascended into the sky, her light merging with the stars. As Finn watched Stella return to her home among the stars, he felt a warmth in his heart. Though he was once again alone in the meadow, he no longer felt lonely. Stella had given him the greatest gift of all, the gift of friendship. From that night on, whenever Finn looked up at the stars, he saw Stella's bright light shining down on him, reminding him of their adventure and the bond they had formed. And in the village of Meadow Brook, the story of Finn and the Star Fairy became a cherished legend, a tale of courage, kindness, and the magic of true friendship.
Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Eldoria, nestled between majestic mountains and lush valleys, there was an enchanted lake called Luminera. This lake was unlike any other, for it glowed with a radiant light that changed colors with the passing of each hour. The people of Eldoria believed that the lake's magic came from a mystical crystal hidden deep beneath its shimmering waters. The kingdom thrived under the blessing of the lake, enjoying bountiful harvests and harmonious weather. However, one fateful day, the lake's light began to fade. The crops withered, the rivers ran dry, and the skies turned gray. The people of Eldoria were filled with despair, fearing that their beloved lake was losing its magic. King Cedric, a wise and compassionate ruler, knew that something had to be done. He called upon the bravest and most noble individuals in the kingdom, promising great rewards to anyone who could restore the lake's magic. Among those who answered the call was a young girl named Elara. She was not of noble birth, but her heart was pure, and her spirit was unyielding. Elara had grown up listening to stories about the enchanted lake and had always dreamed of exploring its depths. "Your Majesty," Elara said, kneeling before King Cedric, "I will find the source of the lake's magic and restore it to its former glory." The king, seeing the determination in her eyes, nodded. "Elara, your bravery and kindness are what this kingdom needs. Take this amulet, it will protect you on your journey. May the spirits of Eldoria guide you." With the amulet around her neck, Elara set off on her quest. She traveled through dense forests, crossed wide rivers, and climbed steep hills. Along the way, she encountered a friendly fox named Lyric, who offered to accompany her. "Hello, Elara," Lyric said with a playful grin. "I know the lands well and can help you navigate the treacherous paths to Luminera." Grateful for the companionship, Elara and Lyric continued their journey together. They soon arrived at the edge of the Whispering Woods, a place filled with ancient trees and magical creatures. There, they met a wise old owl named Orion, who perched high in the branches. "Greetings, travelers," Orion hooted softly. "I see you seek to restore the magic of Luminera. To proceed, you must solve my riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Elara thought for a moment before answering, "An echo." Orion nodded approvingly and revealed a hidden path through the forest. "Follow this path to the Cavern of Echoes, where you will find the guardian of the crystal." Elara and Lyric followed the path, arriving at the entrance of a cavern that glimmered with crystals. Inside, they encountered a majestic stag named Loomis, the guardian of the crystal. "Brave Elara," Loomis said in a deep, resonant voice, "to restore the magic of Luminera, you must prove your courage and purity of heart. The crystal lies within the depths of this cavern, but it is guarded by shadows of doubt and fear. Only the pure of heart can retrieve it." With unwavering determination, Elara and Lyric ventured into the heart of the cavern. The shadows seemed to come alive, whispering doubts and fears into Elara's mind. But she remembered King Cedric's words and the hope of her people, and she pressed on, her heart filled with courage. Finally, they reached the chamber where the crystal lay, glowing faintly. Elara approached it and placed her hand on its surface. The crystal began to pulse with light, growing brighter with each beat of her heart. The shadows receded, and the cavern was filled with a radiant light. With the crystal in hand, Elara and Lyric made their way back to Luminera. As they approached the lake, the crystal's light grew even brighter, illuminating the water with a kaleidoscope of colors. Elara placed the crystal in the heart of the lake, and its magic was instantly restored. The lake's radiant light returned, and the kingdom of Eldoria flourished once more. King Cedric and the people of Eldoria rejoiced at the return of their beloved lake's magic. Elara was celebrated as a hero, and the tale of her bravery spread throughout the land. The enchanted lake continued to glow, a symbol of hope and the enduring power of a pure heart. From that day forward, Eldoria thrived under the blessing of Luminera, and Elara's story was passed down through generations, inspiring all who heard it. And so, the kingdom of Eldoria lived in peace and prosperity, forever grateful to the brave girl who restored the magic of the enchanted lake. The end. Once upon a time, in the lush kingdom of Arboris, there was a magnificent lake known as Silver Lake. Its waters sparkled like liquid moonlight and were said to have the power to grant wishes to those who were kind and true of heart. The lake was protected by an ancient and wise guardian, a gentle water spirit named Selene, who ensured that the lake's magic remained pure and untainted. In the nearby village of Loria, there lived a humble shepherd boy named Theo. Theo was known for his kindness towards animals and his deep love for nature. He often dreamt of seeing the Silver Lake and learning its secrets. His grandfather had once told him stories about the magical waters and the guardian who watched over them. One day, while Theo was tending his flock in the meadow, he found a small, wounded bird. With great care, he nursed the bird back to health. As a token of gratitude, the bird, which was a magical creature in disguise, whispered to Theo about the troubles at Silver Lake. The lake's magic was fading because a dark sorcerer named Grimler was trying to steal its power. Determined to help, Theo set out on a journey to Silver Lake. His only companion was a clever little mouse named Pip, who had a keen sense of direction and a knack for solving puzzles. As they ventured towards the lake, they faced various challenges that tested their courage and kindness. The first challenge was a dense fog that enveloped the forest near the lake. In the heart of the fog, they encountered a grumpy old troll named Goran who blocked their way. "To pass, you must solve my riddle," Goran grumbled. Goran's riddle was, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Theo thought carefully and answered, "An echo." Goran's grumpy expression softened. "You have answered correctly. You may pass. But beware, the path to the lake is fraught with dangers." With Goran's warning in mind, Theo and Pip continued their journey. Soon, they reached the edge of Silver Lake, only to find that it was shrouded in darkness. Grimler had cast a spell that dimmed the lake's light and corrupted its waters. At the center of the lake stood Selene, her radiant form dimmed by the sorcerer's dark magic. She greeted Theo and Pip with a tired smile. "Brave ones, you have come at a time of great peril. Grimler seeks to steal the lake's magic to become the most powerful sorcerer. I need your help to restore the light." Selene explained that to break Grimler's spell, Theo needed to find 3 enchanted gems hidden in the forest. Each gem represented an aspect of the lake's magic: courage, compassion, and wisdom. Only with all 3 gems could the light be restored. Theo and Pip set out to find the gems. Their first stop was a hidden glade where the gem of courage was said to be hidden. There, they encountered a fierce and magical lion named Leon, who guarded the gem. "To earn the gem of courage, you must show bravery," Leon roared. "Face your fears and prove your worth." Theo took a deep breath and approached Leon. He faced his fears head-on, recalling his experiences of helping animals and standing up for what was right. His bravery and pure heart won Leon's respect, and he received the gem of courage. Next, they ventured to a secluded grove where the gem of compassion was hidden. In the grove, they found a sorrowful deer whose fawn was trapped in a snare. Theo and Pip freed the fawn and tended to the deer's wounds. Moved by Theo's compassion, the deer revealed the gem of compassion hidden beneath a moss-covered stone. The final gem, the gem of wisdom, was said to be in a cavern guarded by an ancient owl named Orin. Orin presented Theo with a series of challenging puzzles that required insight and thoughtfulness to solve. Theo and Pip worked together, using their knowledge and wisdom to solve the puzzles, and Orin awarded them the Gem of Wisdom. With all 3 gems in hand, Theo and Pip returned to Silver Lake. Selene was overjoyed as Theo placed the gems in a ceremonial basin at the lake's edge. The gems began to glow brightly, their light mingling with the lake's waters. The dark spell was lifted, and the lake's magic was restored, shining with its original brilliance. Grimler, unable to withstand the restored light, was driven away by the powerful magic. Selene thanked Theo and Pip for their bravery and selflessness. "You have saved the lake and preserved its magic. Your kindness and courage will be remembered forever." Theo and Pip returned to their village, where they were hailed as heroes. The lake continued to sparkle with its enchanting light, and its magic was shared with all who visited. Theo learned that true power came not from seeking glory but from the courage and compassion one showed to others. And so, the kingdom of Loria flourished, and the tale of Theo and the Silver Lake became a cherished legend, reminding all of the importance of kindness, courage, and wisdom. And they lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, verdant kingdom known as Verdantia, there was a hidden garden known only to a few. This garden was said to hold the legendary starflower, a mystical bloom that shone with the light of 1,000 stars and had the power to heal any ailment. The kingdom of Verdantia was ruled by a wise and benevolent queen named Seraphina, who loved her people dearly. Despite her wisdom, she had never found the starflower, and its location remained a mystery even to her. The legend said that the flower could only be found by someone with a heart as pure as the light it emitted. In the village of Rivamist, there lived a young girl named Eloan. She was known throughout the village for her kindness and her love for nature. She spent her days helping the elderly, caring for injured animals, and tending to the plants and flowers in her family's garden. Her compassionate heart made her beloved by all who knew her. One day, a terrible plague swept through Rivamist, causing many of the villagers to fall ill. Despite the efforts of healers, the sickness seemed to resist every remedy. Eloan's own parents became gravely ill, and the village was filled with despair. Desperate to save her loved ones in her village, Eloan remembered the legend of the starflower and decided to find it. With a small satchel filled with provisions and a heart full of hope, Eloan set out for the hidden garden. Her journey took her through dense forests, across bubbling brooks, and up steep hills. She followed an old map she had found in her grandmother's chest, which was said to be a guide to the garden's location. As she ventured deeper into the wilderness, she came across a shimmering pond surrounded by glowing fireflies. On the pond's surface floated a small, golden boat. Eloan, knowing she had no other means to cross, carefully stepped into the boat. It gently carried her across the pond to the other side, where she saw an ancient, grand oak tree. Beneath the oak, a wise old turtle named Thorn awaited her. Thorn had been the guardian of the forest for centuries. "Welcome, young traveler," Thorn greeted with a slow, deliberate voice. "What brings you to this part of the forest?" "I seek the starflower," Eloan replied earnestly. "My village is suffering, and I need its magic to save my family and my home." Thorn's wise eyes softened. "The starflower is a rare and powerful gift. To find it, you must first prove that your heart is truly pure. To enter the hidden garden, you must pass 3 trials: the trial of courage, the trial of wisdom, and the trial of compassion." Eloan nodded resolutely. "I am ready." The first trial was the trial of courage. Thorn led Eloan to a dark, foreboding cave where a fierce dragon guarded the entrance. The dragon's scales glistened like molten gold, and its eyes burned with fiery intensity. Eloan approached the dragon with a calm demeanor. "I do not wish to fight," she said softly. "I seek only to find the starflower to help those I love." The dragon, surprised by her bravery and sincerity, relented. "Your courage is not in your ability to fight but in your willingness to face fear with a pure heart. You may pass." The second trial was the trial of wisdom. Thorn guided Eloan to an ancient library filled with countless books and scrolls. In the center of the library was a puzzle that needed to be solved to reveal the path to the hidden garden. Eloan studied the puzzle carefully. It was a riddle written in an ancient script. What is lighter than air but can fill a room? What is softer than a whisper but can echo in your soul? Eloan thought deeply and recalled the kindness she had shown to others and the love she felt for her family. Her heart answered the riddle: it is hope. The puzzle's solution illuminated the path, leading her closer to her goal. The final trial was the trial of compassion. Eloan entered a beautiful glade where a wounded unicorn lay. The unicorn's gentle eyes were filled with pain, and it looked to Eloan with a plea for help. Without hesitation, Eloan used the healing herbs she had brought to tend to the unicorn's wounds. She spoke softly and comfortingly, soothing the unicorn with her presence. Gradually, the unicorn's pain eased, and it stood up, its strength renewed. "You have passed all the trials," Thorn said with approval. The garden is now open to you. Iloan entered the hidden garden, a paradise of lush flowers and vibrant colors. At the center of the garden stood the starflower, its petals glowing with a soft, celestial light. Iloan approached the flower and carefully picked it, feeling its warmth and magic flow through her. She returned to Rivermist with the starflower, and its healing properties worked wonders. The villagers began to recover, and her parents regained their strength. The plague was lifted, and the village rejoiced in gratitude. Iloan's bravery, wisdom, and compassion were celebrated, and the tale of her quest for the starflower became a cherished story of hope and kindness. The hidden garden remained a place of magic, and the starflower's legacy continued to inspire all who heard its tale. And so, Iloan lived a life filled with joy, knowing that her pure heart had made a difference, and the kingdom of Verdantia thrived in peace and prosperity. The end. Once upon a time, in the peaceful village of Bramblewood, nestled in a lush valley surrounded by towering mountains, there lived a young boy named Leo. Leo was a curious and brave lad, known for his adventurous spirit and his love of exploring the unknown. Bramblewood was a beautiful place, but it was facing a problem. A mysterious drought had dried up the village's water sources, threatening the livelihood of its people. One day, while wandering in the forest, Leo came across an ancient oak tree with a small, hidden door at its base. As he pushed the door open, he discovered an old, dusty book lying on the ground. Intrigued, he picked it up and started to read. The book told the legend of the Silver Grove, a magical place hidden deep within the forest that held the key to ending the drought. According to the legend, only a person with a pure heart and unwavering courage could find the grove and unlock its power. Determined to save his village, Leo decided to embark on the quest to find the Silver Grove. Early the next morning, he packed a small satchel with food, water, and the book, and set off into the forest. As he ventured deeper, the forest grew darker and more mysterious. The trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the air was filled with the scent of ancient magic. As Leo walked, he encountered a wise old owl named Oren. "Hello, young traveler," Oren hooted. "I see you are on a quest. The path to the Silver Grove is perilous, but I will guide you as best I can." Grateful for the owl's assistance, Leo followed Oren deeper into the forest. They soon reached the Whispering Falls, a cascading waterfall that sang with an enchanting melody. The legend spoke of the falls and the guardian who protected them, a graceful deer named Elara. Leo knew he had to gain her trust to continue his journey. "Welcome, Leo," Elara said, appearing from the shadows. "To pass, you must prove your kindness and bravery." Leo recounted his quest and the plight of his village. Moved by his sincerity, Elara agreed to help. To find the Silver Grove, you must follow the path of the moonflowers. They only bloom under the light of the full moon. Leo and Oren continued their journey, and as night fell, the forest was illuminated by the soft glow of moonflowers. The flowers formed a luminous trail, guiding them through the dense underbrush. As they walked, they encountered various creatures, a playful fox named Finn, who shared his knowledge of the forest, and a wise tortoise named Tara, who provided valuable advice. After several days of traveling, they reached the heart of the forest, where the moonflowers led them to a hidden glade. In the center of the glade stood a magnificent silver tree, its leaves shimmering like starlight. This was the Silver Grove. But to unlock its power, Leo needed to find the silver key, which was said to be hidden in the enchanted pond nearby. With the guidance of his new friends, Leo found the enchanted pond. The water was crystal clear, and at its bottom, he saw the silver key, glowing with a magical light. To retrieve it, Leo had to face his deepest fear, the fear of failure. Taking a deep breath, he dived into the pond. As he reached for the key, memories of his village and the people he loved gave him strength. He grasped the key and swam back to the surface. With the silver key in hand, Leo returned to the Silver Grove. He placed the key in a small, intricate lock on the trunk of the silver tree. As he turned the key, the tree began to glow, and a powerful wave of magic spread across the forest. The sky darkened, and then a gentle rain began to fall, soaking the earth and filling the rivers and streams. Leo and his friends returned to Bramblewood, where the villagers rejoiced at the sight of the rain. The drought ended, and the land flourished once more. The people of Bramblewood celebrated Leo's bravery and kindness, and the legend of the Silver Grove was passed down for generations. Leo continued to explore the world, always guided by the lessons he had learned and the friendships he had made on his journey. And so, the village of Bramblewood lived in prosperity and harmony, forever grateful to the young boy who had unlocked the secret of the Silver Grove. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a great, ancient forest, there was a tree known as the Whispering Tree. It was said that the tree could speak to those who approached it with a pure heart and a humble wish. The villagers believed that the tree held secrets and magic that could change their lives. In the village lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his kindness and his love for helping others. Despite his humble means, he always tried to bring joy to those around him. The village, however, was struggling with a harsh winter, and many of the villagers were facing hardships. Finn wanted to do something to help, but he didn't know where to start. One snowy morning, as Finn walked through the village, he overheard the village elder speaking about the Whispering Tree. The elder mentioned that the tree had not been visited for many years, and its magic might be the key to bringing relief to their struggling village. Determined to find a way to help, Finn set out to find the Whispering Tree. He wrapped himself in a warm cloak and braved the cold, following the winding path into the heart of the ancient forest. The snow crunched beneath his boots, and the trees stood tall and silent, their branches heavy with frost. After a long and arduous journey, Finn finally reached a clearing where the Whispering Tree stood. The tree was enormous, with branches that seemed to touch the sky and leaves that shimmered with a faint, silver glow. Finn approached the tree with reverence and said softly, "Great Whispering Tree, I have come to seek your help for my village. We are suffering, and I wish to bring them relief." As Finn spoke, the tree's leaves rustled gently, and a soothing voice emerged from the trunk. "Young Finn, to grant your wish, you must prove your heart's true desire. There are 3 trials you must complete, each testing your kindness, courage, and wisdom." Finn nodded, ready to accept the challenge. The first trial was the trial of kindness. The tree guided Finn to a small, icy stream where he found a family of ducks struggling to find food. Their pond had frozen over, and they were hungry. Finn used his scarf to create a makeshift feeding area and gathered some seeds and crumbs to feed the ducks. The family of ducks quacked gratefully, and Finn felt a warm glow of satisfaction. The second trial was the trial of courage. The Whispering Tree led Finn to a dark, foreboding cave where a mysterious, magical creature was said to dwell. Inside the cave, Finn encountered a timid, glowing fox caught in a net. Though the cave was dark and eerie, Finn approached the fox with bravery, freeing it from the net and calming its fears. The fox, now free, showed Finn a hidden path back to the forest's edge. The final trial was the trial of wisdom. The Whispering Tree presented Finn with a riddle carved into a stone, *, "I am not alive, but I grow, I don't have lungs, but I need air, I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Star." Finn pondered the riddle carefully and soon realized the answer. "A fire," he said with confidence. The tree's branches rustled approvingly, and a soft, radiant light enveloped Finn. With all 3 trials completed, the Whispering Tree spoke once more. "You have shown kindness, courage, and wisdom. Your heart is true. I will grant your wish." The tree's magic swirled around Finn, and a gentle, sparkling snow began to fall from its branches. The snow carried a magical warmth that spread through the forest, melting the frost and bringing a gentle springtime breeze to the village. Finn returned to his village to find that the harsh winter had lifted, and the land was now fertile and lush. The villagers were amazed and overjoyed, their hardships eased by the unexpected miracle. Finn shared his story of the Whispering Tree and the trials he had faced. From that day on, the village flourished, and Finn's kindness was celebrated. The Whispering Tree became a symbol of hope and renewal, and the tale of Finn's bravery and the magical trials was passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the power of a pure heart and the magic that lies within. And so, the village thrived once more, its fields rich and its people joyful, forever grateful for the heart of a young boy who sought to bring light and warmth to those in need. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by misty mountains and shimmering lakes, there was a charming village named Starhaven. Starhaven was known for its crystal-clear nights, where the stars seemed to twinkle more brightly than anywhere else. The villagers believed that the stars were magical and watched over them, guiding their lives with their gentle light. In this village lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara was known for her love of stargazing and her adventurous spirit. Every evening, she would climb the hill behind her cottage and lie on the soft grass, watching the constellations dance across the night sky. Her favorite star was the North Star, which she believed had a special connection to her dreams. One night, as Ilara was stargazing, she noticed that the North Star was dimmer than usual. Concerned, she decided to investigate. With a lantern in hand and a heart full of determination, she set off on a journey to the top of the highest mountain in the land, where it was said that the stars touched the earth. The path was steep and winding, and the journey was fraught with challenges. Ilara encountered a swirling snowstorm, crossed a rickety old bridge, and navigated through a dark forest filled with whispering shadows. But she pressed on, guided by the faint glow of the North Star. At the summit, she discovered a hidden cave. Inside, the walls were adorned with sparkling crystals, and at the center of the cave was a magical pool of starlight. Floating above the pool was a delicate, glowing star, its light flickering weakly. As Ilara approached, a gentle voice echoed through the cave. "Who dares enter the realm of the stars?" Ilara looked around and saw a wise, ancient figure emerge from the shadows. It was a celestial guardian with flowing robes that shimmered like the night sky. "I am Ilara," she said bravely. "I have come to restore the light of the North Star. It is dim, and I fear for the balance of the stars." The guardian's eyes softened with compassion. "The North Star is fading because the Starstone, which powers the stars, has been stolen by a dark sorcerer. Without it, the stars cannot shine as brightly. You are the first to reach this place, and I sense that you have a pure heart." Ilara's eyes widened. "How can I help retrieve the Starstone?" The guardian handed her a shimmering map and said, "Follow this map to the Shadow Realm, where the sorcerer hides. There, you must confront him and recover the Starstone. But remember, the power of the Starstone is not just physical, it also requires a heart full of courage and love." With the map in hand, Ilara ventured into the Shadow Realm, a place of swirling darkness and eerie silence. She navigated through the realm, her lantern's light piercing the shadows. Eventually, she found the sorcerer's lair, a towering fortress surrounded by swirling mists. Inside, the sorcerer sat on a dark throne, the Starstone glowing ominously at his side. He was a tall figure cloaked in shadows, his eyes gleaming with malice. "Why have you come here, child?" he sneered. Ilara took a deep breath. "I have come to reclaim the Starstone and restore the light of the North Star. The stars are important to the world, and their light brings hope and guidance." The sorcerer laughed. "You think you can take it from me? The Starstone's power is mine to command." With a sudden burst of bravery, Ilara stepped forward and spoke from her heart. "The power of the Starstone is meant to bring light and hope, not darkness. True power lies in using it for good." Her words struck a chord with the sorcerer. He hesitated, and for a moment, his hardened exterior softened. He realized the truth in her words. Reluctantly, he handed the Starstone over to Ilara, his anger giving way to a deep, introspective sadness. Ilara thanked him and quickly made her way back to the summit. With the Starstone in place, its light began to radiate throughout the cave, filling it with a brilliant, warm glow. The North Star's light was restored, and the stars across the sky sparkled with renewed brilliance. When Ilara returned to Starhaven, the villagers celebrated her bravery and kindness. The North Star shone more brightly than ever, and the balance of the stars was preserved. The sorcerer, having seen the error of his ways, found redemption and vowed to use his magic for good. Ilara's adventure became a cherished tale in Starhaven, a story of courage, kindness, and the power of a pure heart. The stars continued to guide and inspire the village, and Ilara, with her unwavering spirit, lived happily ever after. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in a valley surrounded by misty mountains, lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Mira. This village was known for its enchanting night skies, where stars seemed to dance and twinkle more brightly than anywhere else. One evening, as the village prepared for its annual star festival, a sudden, mysterious darkness fell over the valley. The stars, usually so bright, were hidden behind a thick, swirling fog. The villagers were worried, for they believed that the stars were responsible for bringing light and good fortune to their lives. In the center of the village stood an ancient oak tree, beneath which was placed an ornate lantern said to be blessed by the stars themselves. This lantern was traditionally lit during the festival to guide lost spirits and bring hope. But now, with the fog obscuring everything, the lantern remained dark. Mira, determined to restore the village's light, decided to embark on a quest to find out why the stars had disappeared. With a heart full of bravery and a small, enchanted map passed down through generations, she set off into the darkened forest that lay beyond the village. As Mira ventured into the forest, the fog seemed to thicken, and shadows danced ominously around her. But Mira pressed on, guided by her map, which glowed faintly in the darkness. After a while, she came across an old, weathered stone archway covered in ivy. The map indicated that this was the entrance to the Forgotten Grove, a place known only in legends. Through the archway, Mira entered the Forgotten Grove, a magical glen where the trees were adorned with shimmering leaves and the air was filled with a sweet, melodic hum. At the center of the grove stood a majestic, silver tree with a canopy that sparkled like stardust. At the base of the silver tree, Mira encountered an old, wise fairy named Leora. Leora had wings like gossamer and eyes that twinkled with ancient wisdom. "Welcome, brave one," Leora said. "The stars have hidden themselves because their light was stolen by a shadowy creature that thrives on darkness." Leora explained that the creature, known as the Umbral Wisp, had taken the light of the stars to feed its own dark magic. To retrieve the light, Mira would need to find the Umbral Wisp's lair and solve a series of riddles it had set to protect its stolen treasure. Mira thanked Leora and followed the directions given to her. The path led her through the enchanted river, where she had to cross using a series of stepping stones that seemed to appear and disappear in the shimmering water. A voice from the river challenged her with a riddle. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" After thinking carefully, Mira answered, "A joke." The stepping stones solidified, and she crossed the river safely. Next, Mira entered a cavern illuminated by an eerie, green glow. Inside, the walls were covered in ancient runes, and in the center of the cavern floated a glowing crystal orb. As Mira approached, she was met by the Umbral Wisp itself, a shadowy figure with piercing eyes. "Only those who understand the true meaning of light can retrieve it," the Umbral Wisp declared. It presented Mira with another riddle. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Mira pondered the riddle and then answered confidently, "A flame." The Umbral Wisp's eyes flickered, and the cavern's green glow began to fade. The creature, realizing that Mira had understood the true nature of light and darkness, reluctantly released the stolen light. The crystal orb's glow intensified, and the star's light was restored to the sky, dispersing the fog that had blanketed the village. Mira thanked the Umbral Wisp for returning the light and made her way back to the village with the orb. As Mira approached the village, the once hidden stars began to shine brightly again. The lantern beneath the ancient oak tree illuminated with a golden glow, casting light and warmth over the entire valley. The villagers cheered and celebrated, their spirits lifted by the return of the stars. That night, the Star Festival was more magical than ever, with the stars shining down like a blanket of diamonds. Mira was hailed as a hero, and the village continued to celebrate the beauty and magic of the night sky. Myra's bravery and kindness became a cherished story, inspiring future generations to believe in the power of light, courage, and the beauty of the stars. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Everglow, there was a magical forest known as the Enchanted Forest. This forest was unlike any other, for it was said to be alive with ancient magic, its trees whispering secrets to those who dared to listen. The heart of the forest held a mysterious and beautiful treasure, a golden flute that could summon the most enchanting melodies. Legend told of a young girl named Lila who lived in the nearby village of Elmsbrook. Lila had a gift for music. Her voice could bring even the sternest heart to tears and laughter. Yet, despite her talent, she longed to play the legendary golden flute of the Enchanted Forest. One day, the village fell into a deep melancholy when a great storm flooded the fields and the river, causing crops to wither and spirits to sag. Lila decided it was time to find the golden flute and play its melody to lift the village's spirits. With a heart full of hope and a small satchel of supplies, she set out for the Enchanted Forest. As Lila ventured into the forest, she was greeted by shimmering lights and the soft murmur of the trees. The air was filled with a soothing scent of jasmine and pine. But as she walked deeper into the forest, she came across her first challenge, a vast, twisting maze of towering hedges and blooming flowers. At the entrance of the maze stood a talking squirrel named Oliver, who seemed to be the guardian of this part of the forest. Oliver had bushy fur and bright, curious eyes. To find your way through the maze, you must first solve a riddle, Oliver chattered, holding up a tiny acorn. The riddle was, I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I? Lila thought for a moment and then answered, a map. Oliver's eyes twinkled with approval, and he pointed out the path through the maze. With Oliver's help, Lila navigated through the twisting hedges and emerged on the other side. Next, she found herself in a beautiful glade bathed in moonlight. In the center of the glade stood a large, ancient oak tree with a door carved into its trunk. The door was guarded by a gentle faun named Thaddeus, who played a harp with nimble fingers. Only those who prove their kindness may enter, Thaddeus said in a melodious voice. Inside the tree, you will find a small creature in need of help. Aid it, and the door will open. Lila nodded and entered the tree. Inside, she discovered a tiny, injured songbird with a broken wing. Using a piece of cloth from her satchel, she carefully bandaged the bird's wing and spoke soothingly to it. The bird chirped softly in gratitude and fluttered its wings as best as it could. As Lila exited the tree, Thaddeus smiled warmly and opened the door to reveal a hidden path leading further into the forest. Lila thanked him and continued on her way. The final challenge was a tranquil, moonlit pond surrounded by glowing flowers. On the far side of the pond, Lila could see the golden flute resting on a pedestal. However, the pond was guarded by a wise old turtle named Celine, who had seen many seekers come and go. To claim the golden flute, Celine said in a calm, soothing voice, you must demonstrate your true intentions. Sing a song that comes from your heart, and the flute will reveal itself. Lila took a deep breath and began to sing a song she had composed for her village, a melody filled with hope and love. As her voice floated over the water, the golden flute began to glow softly. The pond's surface shimmered, and the flute gently floated toward Lila. With reverence, Lila took the golden flute and thanked Celine for guarding it. As she made her way back to Elmsbrook, the forest seemed to cheer her on with a chorus of rustling leaves and gentle breezes. When Lila returned to her village, she played the golden flute, and its enchanting melody filled the air. The sound seemed to weave magic through the village, healing the land and lifting the villagers' spirits. The fields began to bloom again, and the river sparkled with renewed life. The village of Elmsbrook rejoiced, and Lila's bravery and kindness became a beloved story told to generations. The Enchanted Forest continued to thrive, and its magical secrets were cherished and remembered by all who believed in the power of music and a kind heart. And so, with the golden flute's melody echoing through the trees, peace and prosperity returned to Elmsbrook, and the magic of the Enchanted Forest lived on forever. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by dense forests and rolling hills, there was a small, humble cottage owned by a kind woman named Ilara. Ilara was known for her generous spirit and her love for all living things. Her garden was always blooming, and animals from far and wide came to her for help. One evening, as the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the land, Ilara was tending to her garden when she noticed a strange, golden light flickering among the flowers. Curious, she followed the light and discovered an old, dusty lantern buried under a pile of leaves. Ilara carefully picked up the lantern and brushed off the dirt. The lantern was ornately decorated with intricate patterns of stars and moons. It seemed to hum softly in her hands, as if it held a secret. As she brought the lantern inside and placed it on her mantle, the golden light grew brighter. With a soft click, the lantern's door opened, and out floated a tiny, shimmering fairy. The fairy's wings sparkled like diamonds, and her smile was as warm as sunlight. "Thank you for freeing me," the fairy said with a voice as gentle as a summer breeze. "I am Leora, the guardian fairy of wishes. For freeing me, I will grant you one wish." Ilara was amazed but also a bit puzzled. She thought about what she might wish for. She had everything she needed and wanted nothing for herself. After a moment's reflection, she said, "I wish for a way to help everyone in our village." Leora's eyes twinkled, and she waved her wand, sending a burst of sparkling light into the lantern. "Your wish is granted. This lantern will now shine with a magical light that can bring joy and aid to those in need. But remember, the light only works if the heart behind it is pure." With that, Leora vanished back into the lantern, leaving Ilara with a sense of wonder and responsibility. The next day, a storm hit the village, leaving the villagers in a state of disarray. Homes were damaged, and spirits were low. Ilara knew this was the time to use the lantern's magic. She carried the lantern through the village, holding it high so that its warm, golden light could shine upon everyone. Wherever the light touched, flowers began to bloom, broken things were mended, and smiles appeared on the villagers' faces. The lantern's light spread joy and hope, transforming the village into a place of renewed happiness. But as the days went by, Ilara noticed something even more magical. The lantern's light began to reveal hidden talents in the villagers. The blacksmith, who had always been gruff, found joy in creating beautiful sculptures. The baker, once shy, discovered a talent for storytelling that brought laughter to the village. The lantern's light helped each person find their own unique gift and encouraged them to share it with others. One evening, as the village celebrated their newfound joy and prosperity, Ilara noticed that the lantern's light had dimmed. She was concerned but remembered Leora's words about a pure heart. She knew that the lantern's magic depended on the kindness of the one who carried it. Ilara thought deeply and realized that the true magic was not in the lantern itself but in the way it had brought the villagers together and helped them discover their own potential. She decided to pass the lantern on to someone else in need, trusting that its magic would continue to spread. As she prepared to hand over the lantern, Leora reappeared, her eyes shining with approval. "You have used the lantern's magic wisely, Ilara. The light it gave was a reflection of your own kindness and generosity. Remember, the greatest magic of all is the kindness in your heart." Ilara smiled and handed the lantern to a young woman who had just moved to the village. She hoped that the lantern would continue to bring joy and inspiration to others. And so, the village thrived, and the enchanted lantern continued its journey, lighting up the lives of those who needed it most. Ilara's selflessness and the lantern's magic became a cherished story in the village, a reminder that true magic lies in the kindness we share with others. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. The Star Weaver's secret. In a small, quaint village nestled in a lush valley, there lived a humble woman named Leora. She was known for her exquisite weaving, crafting tapestries that seemed to come alive with every stitch. Leora's creations were not mere decorations, they told stories of dreams and magic, woven from threads of silver and gold. The villagers cherished Leora's work, but they also whispered about an old legend. According to the tale, Leora possessed a secret talent. She was said to be a star weaver, someone who could capture the light of the stars in her threads. This legend was dismissed by many as a mere myth, but it lingered in the hearts of those who longed for a touch of magic in their lives. The mysterious request. One evening, as the stars began to twinkle in the velvet sky, a stranger arrived in the village. He was a tall man with a cloak that shimmered like the night sky and a gentle, knowing smile. He introduced himself as Eric, a traveler from a distant land. Eric sought Leora's help. "I have heard of your incredible talent," he said. "I need a tapestry that holds the light of the rarest star, one that can bring hope and healing to my land, which is suffering from a terrible drought." Leora, intrigued and moved by Eric's story, agreed to help him. Eric handed her a small, ornate box. Inside was a single, radiant star crystal. "This crystal holds the essence of the rarest star," he explained. "It will guide you in your weaving." The enchanted weaving Leora worked tirelessly day and night, using the star crystal to illuminate her loom. As she wove, the thread sparkled with an ethereal light, and the tapestry began to take shape. It depicted a magnificent celestial landscape with stars, moons, and mythical creatures dancing across the fabric. Unbeknownst to Leora, the tapestry was imbued with magic. The star crystal was not only guiding her but also infusing her work with a powerful enchantment. As the final stitch was made, the tapestry shone with a light so pure and brilliant that it seemed to hold the very essence of the night sky. The journey to Eric's land. With the tapestry completed, Leora and Eric set out on a journey to his homeland, a distant kingdom suffering from endless drought. The land was parched, and the people's spirits were as dry as the cracked earth beneath their feet. When they arrived, Eric presented the tapestry to the kingdom's rulers and laid it out in the central square. The villagers gathered around, their eyes widening in awe at the tapestry's beauty. As the sun set, the tapestry began to glow softly, reflecting the light of the stars above. The miracle. As the tapestry shimmered in the moonlight, something incredible happened. The tapestry's light began to spread across the kingdom. The barren fields started to green, and the once dry wells began to fill with fresh, sparkling water. The land seemed to come alive with a newfound vitality, and the people rejoiced in their restored fortunes. Leora's heart swelled with joy at witnessing the transformation. She knew that the true magic lay not just in the tapestry but in the hope and unity it inspired. The parting gift. Before Leora left, the kingdom's rulers offered her a grand reward, but she humbly declined. Instead, she asked for a single star-shaped gem from their land, a token to remember the journey by. The rulers gladly granted her request, and Leora returned to her village with the precious gem. Leora's village was soon visited by travelers from afar, eager to see the weaver who had brought hope to a distant land. The tale of her bravery and kindness spread far and wide, and her tapestries were revered not only for their beauty but also for the magic they carried within. A lasting legacy. Leora continued to weave, her work now infused with the wisdom and magic she had gained from her journey. The star-shaped gem became a cherished keepsake, a reminder of the power of hope and the difference one person can make. The village flourished, and Leora's legend lived on, inspiring generations to believe in the magic of their own dreams and the possibility of creating light even in the darkest of times. And so, under the watchful gaze of the stars, Leora's story was woven into the fabric of time, a testament to the magic that lives in the heart of those who dare to dream. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled in a lush valley, there was a tale of an enchanted violin that was said to have the power to bring joy and harmony to anyone who heard its music. The violin had once belonged to a legendary musician named Alara, who used its magic to lift spirits and heal hearts. But after her mysterious disappearance, the violin was lost, and the village fell into a period of sadness and discord. In this village lived a young girl named Clara. Clara had always loved music and spent her days playing a small, worn-out violin her grandmother had given her. Despite its age and imperfections, Clara's music had a way of soothing the villagers and bringing them comfort. When Clara learned about the enchanted violin and the impact it could have on her village, she felt a deep resolve to find it and restore happiness to her home. The first challenge, the Forest of Echoes. Clara's journey began in the Forest of Echoes, a mystical forest where every sound seemed to be reflected and magnified by the trees. As Clara walked among the towering trees, she heard the soft strains of an ancient melody floating through the air. The melody seemed to guide her to a clearing where a majestic stag with antlers like silver branches stood. To pass through the forest of echoes, the stag said with a voice like the rustling leaves, "You must solve this riddle. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Clara thought for a moment and replied, "A joke." The stag's eyes sparkled with approval, and it stepped aside to reveal a hidden path leading out of the forest. "Follow this path to find the next challenge," the stag instructed. The second challenge, the River of Harmony. Clara followed the path and soon arrived at the River of Harmony, a serene river with water that danced and shimmered like liquid silver. The river was guarded by a graceful swan with feathers that sparkled in the sunlight. To cross the River of Harmony, the swan said with a gentle voice, "You must answer this question. What has many keys but can't open locks? Has space but no room, and you can play but not touch?" Clara pondered the question and answered, "A piano." The swan's eyes glowed with delight, and it flapped its wings to create a shimmering bridge of light across the river. Clara crossed the river, her heart swelling with hope as she continued her quest. The third challenge, the Cave of Whispers. On the other side of the river, Clara discovered the Cave of Whispers, a cavern filled with glowing crystals that emitted a soft, melodic hum. At the entrance of the cave stood an ancient door adorned with intricate musical symbols. A soft, melodic voice echoed through the cave, "To unlock this door and find the enchanted violin, you must reveal your true self. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with a pure heart." Clara took a deep breath and spoke earnestly, "My deepest wish is to find the enchanted violin and bring its magic back to my village. I want to use its music to restore happiness and harmony to the people who have been struggling." The cave's walls began to glow with a warm, golden light, and the ancient door slowly creaked open, revealing a chamber filled with the soft, luminous glow of the enchanted violin resting on a pedestal. The revelation, bringing joy to the village. With the enchanted violin in her hands, Clara returned to her village. As she began to play, the violin's magic filled the air with a melody so beautiful and soothing that it seemed to touch the very soul of everyone who heard it. The music spread through the village, lifting spirits, mending broken hearts, and restoring harmony. The once sad village came alive with joy and laughter as Clara's music wove through the streets, fields, and homes. The villagers gathered to celebrate the return of their happiness and praised Clara for her bravery and determination. The tale of Clara's quest and the enchanted violin became a beloved story in the village, a reminder of the power of music, courage, and the magic that exists in the purest of hearts. Under the enchanting melodies of the violin, the village flourished once more, forever grateful for the girl who had restored their joy and harmony. Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom surrounded by tall, misty mountains and lush green valleys, there was a serene village called Crystalbrook. The village was named after a beautiful lake with crystal-clear waters that shimmered like diamonds under the sunlight. It was said that the lake possessed magical powers, bestowing peace and prosperity upon the village. In Crystalbrook, there lived a young girl named Alina. Alina was known for her compassionate heart and her love for nature. She spent most of her days by the lake, talking to the animals and tending to the vibrant flowers that grew along its shores. She often heard whispers of a legend about a hidden treasure at the bottom of the lake, which could only be found by someone with a pure heart. One summer evening, as Alina was walking by the lake, she noticed the water glowing with an unusual light. Curiosity sparked within her, and she stepped closer to the edge. Suddenly, a graceful swan emerged from the water. Its feathers glistened like silver, and its eyes sparkled with wisdom. Alina, the swan, spoke softly, "I am Selene, the guardian of the crystal lake. A great darkness is approaching our land, and only the treasure hidden within the lake can save us. You have been chosen to retrieve it, for your heart is pure and full of kindness." Alina felt a mixture of fear and determination. "How will I find it?" she asked. Selene extended one of her silver feathers to Alina. "Take this feather," she said. "It will guide you to the treasure and protect you from harm. Remember, only true courage and selflessness will reveal the path." With the feather in hand, Alina waded into the lake. As she moved deeper, the water parted before her, creating a pathway. She followed it to the center of the lake, where she found a hidden cave illuminated by a soft, golden glow. Inside the cave, she discovered an ancient chest adorned with intricate carvings. Alina opened the chest, revealing a beautiful, radiant crystal. As she touched it, the crystal emitted a warm, comforting light. Selene appeared beside her, smiling. "You have found the heart of the lake," Selene said. "This crystal holds the power to banish darkness and restore balance to our land. You must take it to the top of Mount Lumina, where its light can shine upon the entire kingdom." Alina knew the journey would be perilous, but she was determined to save her village. She climbed out of the lake, crystal in hand, and began her ascent to Mount Lumina. Along the way, she encountered many challenges. She crossed treacherous ravines, navigated dense forests, and braved harsh winds. As she climbed higher, she met a wounded deer trapped in a thorny thicket. Despite her urgency, Alina couldn't ignore the deer's plight. She carefully freed it, using Selene's feather to heal its wounds. The deer, grateful for her kindness, accompanied her on her journey. Near the summit, a fierce storm threatened to halt her progress. The winds howled, and the skies darkened. But Alina held the crystal close, its light guiding her through the tempest. With every step, the storm seemed to weaken, until finally, she reached the peak. At the top of Mount Lumina, Alina placed the crystal on an ancient pedestal. The crystal's light grew brighter and brighter, piercing through the clouds and casting a radiant glow across the land. The storm dissipated, and the darkness retreated, replaced by a warm, golden light that brought life and prosperity back to the kingdom. Selene appeared once more, her eyes filled with gratitude. "You have done it, Alina. Your bravery and selflessness have saved us all. The heart of the lake will continue to shine, protecting our land for generations to come." Alina returned to Crystalbrook as a hero. The villagers celebrated her courage and kindness, and the story of her journey spread throughout the kingdom. The heart of the lake continued to glow, a symbol of hope and unity. And so, Alina lived a life full of joy and adventure, always remembered as the girl who saved her kingdom with the power of her pure heart. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a land where the skies were always bright and the trees always green, there was a hidden forest known as the Forest of the Forgotten. This magical forest was filled with trees that held the memories of those who had wandered through its woods long ago. The forest was said to be enchanted, and its magic was both wondrous and mysterious. In a cozy cottage at the edge of the village of Larkspur, lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known throughout the village for her curiosity and kindness. Her parents had passed away when she was very young, and she lived with her wise grandmother, who often told her stories about the magical Forest of the Forgotten. One evening, Elara's grandmother told her about a special tree in the forest, the Tree of Wishes. This ancient tree was said to grant one true wish to someone who had a pure heart and selfless intentions. The tree's magic could only be unlocked by someone who truly needed help, and Elara decided she wanted to find it. Early one morning, with a basket of supplies and a heart full of hope, Elara set off on her adventure into the Forest of the Forgotten. The forest was filled with a symphony of sounds, birds chirping, leaves rustling, and the gentle murmur of a hidden brook. The deeper Elara ventured, the more the forest seemed alive with secrets. As Elara walked, she noticed the trees seemed to watch her with their wise, old eyes. She felt a bit nervous but pressed on, remembering her grandmother's stories. After a few hours of wandering, Elara came upon a small clearing with a shimmering stream flowing through it. At the center of the clearing was a beautiful, golden tree with leaves that glowed softly. Elara approached the tree with awe and gently touched its bark. "I've come seeking the Tree of Wishes," she said softly. "I need help for my village, which has been suffering from a terrible drought. If you can help us, we'd be forever grateful." The Tree of Wishes responded with a warm, golden light. Its leaves rustled as if whispering secrets, and a gentle breeze carried the sound of a soothing voice. "Your heart is pure, Elara," the tree spoke. "The village has suffered, and your kindness and courage have brought you here. I will grant your wish, but first, you must complete a task. Elara listened intently as the Tree of Wishes explained the task. She had to retrieve a magical crystal hidden deep within the forest, guarded by a fierce dragon. This crystal had the power to summon rain and end the drought. Though frightened, Elara was determined to help her village. With the tree's guidance, Elara ventured further into the forest, following a path marked by glowing mushrooms. She reached a dark cave where the dragon was said to live. Gathering her courage, she entered the cave and found the dragon, an enormous, shimmering creature with scales like jewels. The dragon looked at Elara with curious eyes. "Why have you come here, little one?" it rumbled. "I need the crystal to help my village," Elara said bravely. "We're suffering from a drought, and I must bring it back to save them." The dragon studied her carefully and then nodded. "Many have come seeking the crystal, but you are the first to show such bravery and kindness. The crystal is yours, but remember, it is a powerful gift. Use it wisely." With a respectful bow, Elara took the crystal and thanked the dragon. She made her way back to the Tree of Wishes, where the tree used its magic to combine the crystal's power with its own. A gentle rain began to fall, soaking the thirsty ground and bringing relief to the land. Elara returned to her village, where everyone rejoiced at the sight of the rain. The crops began to grow, and the village flourished once more. Elara was celebrated as a hero, but she humbly shared that the true magic had come from the heart of the forest and the kindness she had shown. The villagers, inspired by Elara's bravery and the magic of the forest, learned to care for one another and cherish the gifts of the land. The Forest of the Forgotten remained a place of wonder, where the memories of those who showed kindness lived on forever. And so, Elara's tale was passed down through generations, reminding everyone that even in the darkest times, a pure heart and a selfless wish can bring about the most magical changes. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village called Elmswood, nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, lived a young girl named Clara. Clara was known for her bright smile and her adventurous spirit. Her favorite spot was the meadow beyond the village, where wildflowers grew in a riot of colors and butterflies danced in the warm sunlight. One day, while exploring the edge of the enchanted forest, Clara found a beautiful, shimmering feather. It was unlike any she had ever seen, with hues that shifted and sparkled in the light. She picked it up, feeling a strange warmth spread through her fingers. That evening, she showed the feather to her grandmother, an old woman with kind eyes and a heart full of stories. "Ah, Clara," her grandmother said, "this is no ordinary feather. It belongs to the phoenix of the enchanted forest, a mystical bird of great power and wisdom. Legend says that whoever finds a phoenix feather will be granted one wish, but only if they prove themselves worthy." Clara's eyes widened with excitement. "A wish? What must I do to prove myself?" Her grandmother smiled softly. "You must journey to the heart of the enchanted forest and find the phoenix. Along the way, you will face 3 trials that will test your courage, kindness, and wisdom. If you succeed, the phoenix will grant you your wish." Determined to bring prosperity to her village, which had suffered from poor harvests and harsh winters, Clara set out the next morning with the phoenix feather tucked safely in her satchel. As she entered the forest, the trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the air was thick with magic. She walked for hours, the light dimming as the canopy overhead grew denser. Eventually, she came to a clearing where a massive stone statue of a dragon stood. At its base was an inscription: "To pass the first trial, show bravery true, face the guardian of stone, it must be you." Clara took a deep breath and stepped forward. The statue's eyes glowed, and it came to life, towering over her with a roar. Summoning all her courage, Clara spoke clearly and firmly. "I am Clara of Elmswood, and I seek the phoenix to save my village. I have no weapon, but I have a brave heart." The stone dragon paused, then lowered its head in acknowledgement. "You have shown bravery," it rumbled. "You may pass." Relieved, Clara continued her journey. The forest grew darker, and the path became harder to follow. After a while, she encountered a stream with crystal clear water. On the opposite bank stood a weeping willow tree, its branches drooping like a curtain. As Clara approached, she heard soft sobbing from the willow. "Who weeps so sorrowfully?" Clara called out. A face formed in the bark of the willow tree. "I weep for the creatures of the forest," it said. "They suffer from a blight that I cannot cure." Clara's heart ached at the willow's sorrow. She remembered the herbs her grandmother used to heal the sick. She found some nearby, crushed them into a paste, and gently applied it to the willow's roots. Slowly, the tree's leaves regained their green color, and the sobbing ceased. "Your kindness has healed me," the willow said. "You may pass." Clara smiled and thanked the willow before continuing on her way. The forest seemed to welcome her now, the path becoming easier to follow. Soon, she arrived at the base of a steep, rocky hill. At the top, she saw a cave entrance glowing with a golden light. As she climbed, she encountered an elderly man sitting on a rock, looking puzzled. "Good day, sir," Clara greeted him. "Why do you look troubled?" The old man sighed. "I have been trying to solve a riddle that guards the entrance to the Phoenix's cave, but I cannot figure it out." Clara sat beside him, and together they read the riddle inscribed on a nearby stone. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind." After a moment of thought, Clara smiled. "It's an echo," she said. The old man's eyes lit up. "Of course. Thank you, young one." As they approached the cave entrance, the light grew brighter, and they heard a melodious voice say, "You have shown wisdom. Enter, Clara of Elmswood." Inside the cave, the golden light intensified until it revealed a magnificent phoenix, its feathers blazing with 1,000 colors. The bird looked at Clara with eyes full of ancient wisdom. "You have proven yourself worthy," the phoenix said. "What is your wish?" Clara knelt before the phoenix. "Great Phoenix, I wish for my village to prosper and for our harvests to be bountiful so that no one will go hungry again." The phoenix nodded, a warm smile on its beak. "Your wish is noble and selfless. It shall be granted." With a flap of its mighty wings, the phoenix released a shower of golden sparks that filled the cave and enveloped Clara. When she opened her eyes, she found herself back at the edge of the forest, the phoenix feather still in her satchel, glowing faintly. As Clara returned to Elmswood, she saw that the village had already begun to change. The fields were lush and green, the river flowed clear and strong, and the villagers were healthy and happy. Her grandmother met her at the village gate, her eyes shining with pride. "You did it, Clara," she said. "You saved us all." From that day on, Elmswood flourished like never before. The villagers spoke of Clara's bravery, kindness, and wisdom, and her story was told for generations. And as for Clara, she continued to explore and seek out new adventures, her heart forever full of the magic of the enchanted forest. And so, the village lived happily ever after, forever grateful to the girl who dared to find the phoenix and bring its blessings to her home.